YouTube, it's Brian Phillips. What do we have from FMS? The J-10 64. We hope this thing does better without the gear, which is the only way that I could suggest flying a plane just like this, except I'm real nervous about how much damage it's gonna do to all these beautiful scale antennas and steerable nose gear thingy-mabobber. Okay, so we're gonna try launching this. I do not know the best way, but I'm gonna tell you what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna throttle cut off. I'm gonna forward thrust, make sure we're not in pilot fatigue, and I'm gonna go ahead and go into auto leveling, and there's barely any wind, so I'm just gonna give it a little full throttle. There it is, out of auto leveling. There it is. Okay. Folks, we found out how to do this plane. Now we're in stabilized mode. Looks really good.
Yeah.
Looks a lot better, feels a lot better.
Looks less wonky.
Oh, it looks a heck of a lot less wonky. Gotta say, LEDs look sweet on this plane.
Yeah, they do. That
is the roll rate, guys. Hey, there's ups. Here it is. Look at this. Down the runway, you good?
Yep.
Guys, you can barely glide with it with the gear on. You'll lose altitude just going straight because of that front gear door. Trying to bring it through the hole. Oh yeah. Ventral fins on the back are gonna rip off on the first landing, I suspect. Man, that tail light is awesome.
Yeah, they are really great.
Wish it was white. Upside down flight performance, very good actually. Holy cow, I thought that was gonna be wonk-adelic. This has a gull wing, folks. I didn't know that about this plane until we were building it. And I gotta say, the way to fly this plane is without the gear. Just throw them away, they look good, they're gonna be tempting. You're gonna think, oh, wheels up, wheels down. I can do it. No, you can't. It's just terrible. Get rid of them. It's gonna ruin your plane. I'm telling you this right now from personal experience. We've flown a lot of planes, and over the years, we've had some that come with some decent looking landing gear, and they're just terrible, okay? 3.5 minutes of flight time, 2200, 4S, 50C pack. You could probably push it a lot longer without the gear. That's less throttle. I finally feel like I can actually unleash the beast. And when I say the beast, look at the ups, guys. That's why 64s don't usually make sense for fighter jets. I'm gonna slow it down a lot. Oh, that is cool. Throttle, rudder. There is a rudder. It will help you if you get stuck in wash with this thing, because that can happen if you get into high alpha. Let's see if I can do an alpha pass before we lose our battery. Okay. I kind of suck at lining up for high alpha passes, guys, because we don't have a very long corridor for it. And there comes the excuses. The other thing is I could push my battery back a little bit. I'm gonna try to get it to high alpha a little bit, but it just doesn't want to do it. I don't want it to slip out from under me and totally crash, but I am back on the elevator. As you can see, that was 60% back on the elevator. I just don't think we're gonna get it on this plane as configured. So I think we have to probably try a landing. Camera crew, you good?
Yep.
You don't need to move, you're probably good.
Okay.
I'm just trying to get it out here where we should be able to find success, I hope. Oh, please don't break yourself and destroy everything. Okay, throttle cuts on. I want to be wrong so bad, guys.
I don't think that was as bad as you think it was going to be.
Well, it didn't drag very far,
right.
But that's because it caught everything on the bottom.
No, I know.
And full disclosure, it's wet.
It is
So
wet.
look, we did a little excavation there. But what's the first thing to come off?
Yeah.
The antenna. I knew that was going to be gone, and it happens to be green.
So
gone.
Gone.
Okay, now that was our timer, but I'm gonna go ahead and fly this some more because why would I not? It's Brian Phillips RC. It did not break off the ventral fins, that's a miracle. The other thing is, if you guys are thinking, why didn't you high alpha it in? I don't know if you could tell from me, my stick for high alpha, I was here on those passes. I couldn't get the stick any lower without giving up my out, okay? You have to have an out when you fly, especially on maiden flights, guys. These are always maiden flights for us because when you watch our unbox build radio setups in our maiden flights, it's really our maiden flights. This is our third flight with this. We don't have 17 flights in. I'm gonna see if I can take off. I'm gonna put on auto leveling, full throttle. Here it goes. Okay, out of the auto leveling. Camera crew back. Thank you, right there. Ground effect seems to evade these Delta jets, okay? And I gotta say, if you're gonna get this thing, just plop in a 630. You're gonna be happier, I promise. The AS3X Plus will have this thing even more locked in. It feels pretty dang good compared to with the gear on. Holy cow, it's a different plane. It really is a different plane, folks. So you're gonna be seeing this video first. If you're getting this plane with the intentions of wheels up, wheels down, just forget it and get the Rafale. The Rafale 80 will do the things you want to do without totally breaking your heart. Whoa! Hit some grass there. Oh man, that grass was heavy, but it didn't take the plane out.
Nope.
Good thing we don't have missile rails on there. It would have for sure crashed. Just gliding it by. Hard on the throttle. And this is probably going to be the last pass for us. I'm going to try to put down.
Okay.
Do you want me to try in the tall grass just to show people how it works?
Yeah, I'll come up.
Okay, so a lot of you guys are gonna fly. You're gonna try to put it down in taller grasses, and that would be smart, but just try to slow it down nicely. Up, nope, I'm not gonna hit the tall grass, at least not intentionally. Here, actually, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna go overhead for me.
Okay.
I'm gonna bring back the other way. We'll see if we can get it, because the wind kind of shifted a little on us. It's light right now. Go back to the runway, camera crew. Perfect, right there. See if I can cut this angle. What I'm trying to do, folks, if you can't tell, I'm trying to get into high alpha just to show you that it can be done. And yeah, as you can see, we're too nose heavy at the recommended CG, and I'm slightly aft of that, so probably 3 or 4 millimeters. Our battery is pushed almost to the bulkhead. There's maybe this much gap behind our 2200 for us, okay? So, the findings on this plane, if you want to fly it more 3D aerobatic stuff like that, you're going to have to slam that battery all the way back to the other shelf, and it's going to be wonky. But these planes will handle a little bit of wonk. The Deltas do okay with that. That being said, landing it is not hard, especially with the gear off, okay? Landing it with the gear on, if you're trying to land it next to grass, just remember, we do have a rudder, but you're in the wash on that final. So you got some rudder authority, but it's really muted because you block all of that with the surface as you come in like this. So don't expect a ton of rudder authority on final, okay? That's the first thing. Second thing is, I definitely like the way that this plane flew. I was super, super surprised to see that it was actually okay. And it really was okay, but not with the gear. Guys, if you're buying this to fly wheels up, wheels down, just literally don't buy it. Buy something different. We like FMS as a company. They make some really excellent planes, but if you're flying it on smart packs or regular packs that are not high volt, I think you're gonna find that the power to weight ratio is just not there. That front nose gear has a thing on it like this. It's a simulated gear door. It's gonna create so much drag, and plus the gear in general create a lot of drag no matter what you do. Plus they're rock hard tires. To be honest, didn't notice that because I was worried about all the other things that were gonna break.
It didn't bounce like crazy though.
You're right, it kind of didn't. You're right, but that's, yeah, you're right.
But then we went into the rocks and the grass because you can't.
And on my first landing, which was on our crappy camera footage, I went over here and caught the right one in the grass. Now, are the gear gonna break if you have perfect greasy landings every time? No, and that's on me as a pilot, but I am gonna tell you this, those gear struts on the mains broke easy.
Yeah.
And they broke in the exact same spot.
Yep.
So that tells me that it's not probably a good enough design to be there. Let's do better with our landing gear, FMS and every company that's listening. I don't really care about the landing gear on this plane though. Let's be honest, if you're buying this and you're flying it without the gear, okay? That's our findings. I think we're gonna show you our second flight as well, and then maybe after, maybe we'll throw in the crappy footage. I don't know. She says she doesn't want to put it out.
No, it's embarrassing because
we
have a new camera. I have to practice more.
She's embarrassed.
There's no value to it except to see that I suck as a camera person.
You guys don't realize what goes on behind the scenes, but the truth is we film on cell phones all the time. We have for years. That's 10 years of building good habits.
Ever.
And now we have to try to figure out how to use a real camera apparatus. It's gonna be a change. So we're hoping it works, but we wanna be able to reach out and touch something there so that we can bring it to you here.
Yeah.
And instead of just watching a dot in the middle of the screen, which does happen a lot with jets. Admittedly, this is not a super fast jet. I don't like super fast jets. I mean, I like that they go fast, but I like jets that I can slow down. This one slows down pretty good. But in order to do the things I was hoping to do, I'm gonna have to get it way more tail heavy than we had set up to be able to pull that center of gravity back and get it to high alpha the way I want. But then that's the trade-off. Then you're not dealing with a powerhouse. So what happens when you get into high alpha without power? You crash.
Yeah.
Because you can't recover. So again, maybe high volt packs on this, definitely without gear on this. J-10 FMS 64 millimeters, BrianPhillipsRC.com or BPRC.me if you want the short link. Compare and contrast against all the other competitive offerings we've done over the years. Some of them aren't competitive because they're from FMS as well. But I do want to tell you this. I enjoy reviewing planes like this because I get a chance to play with them, but they are not my favorite type of plane. I like a more conventional style of plane. These Delta Jets are not my premium. Like in my list of things I want to do, there's a lot of things first. And so full disclosure, I want you guys to weigh that on the scales of your consideration. The reason that that happens for me is because I've just never really had a great experience with any of them. And the Gripen, I flew the Gripen, I'm saying it the way that Americans say it. I flew John's Gripen from Two Brothers at Knoll. And he had that thing set up so crazy, it was ridiculous. And I was just scared to death I'm gonna ruin this guy's plane. But I don't care. It's not my thing. It's kind of like 3D. I enjoy 3D, but I enjoy 3D quite a bit. It's just, this is way over here on the scale. And then over here is like an F-14 that flies perfectly, that'll slow down really good for a perfect short runway.
Yeah.
Okay, and scale helicopters and stuff like that. You know, it's just right firmly at the top of the list is slow flying, beautiful prop driven planes that just look ultra scale that I can just relax and fly. So there is a sliding scale of interest for every pilot.
Right.
You have to find your own, but we do tell you that so that you can gauge our level of interest and involvement with a particular item, okay? Because at the end of the day, we're trying to be truthful to you guys, and our own preconceived notions about a particular product are gonna come through even if we try our best not to bring them out. And it's super wet, so I'll just go do this.
Well, a lot of your, while you're going to get that, a lot of your favorites or things that you really like have to do with like childhood memories. We grew up with F-16s that fly where we live when we were kids. And some of those kind of things that are like major memories for you, so you like those planes. So if you grew up watching the Chinese Aerobatic Team, then maybe this is for you.
And to be honest with you, that was one of the reasons why FMS didn't send this to us at the beginning, is they said, oh, we're marketing it predominantly to the China crowd or something.
Yeah, or to that.
And like, okay, whatever.
Planet.
And we cried BS, but that's fine. It's okay. At the end of the day, the plane is actually not terrible, but I gotta say, and by the way, that did help a little bit.
It did. It
just
was
flying
better.
it into the taller grass made a big improvement.
And you didn't lose any of those little nose cones either time.
I know. This damage was caused by my first overrun into the gravel, which you guys will see in the next flight. So I won't bore you with the details, but here's the thing. When I get a jet, especially, I gotta re-glue that. Looks like it just pulled free. We'll use some China glue. We'll slather some China glue in there. It'll be fine. When we do these on-box build radio setups, we show all the details that we can squeeze into them because we want to help you get out of the chair and into the air. And we hope we're achieving our mission. Leave it in the comments if we helped you get out of the chair into the air, whether that's somebody coming back to the hobby or somebody that's brand new to the hobby. We want you all in the hobby. So tell your friends about a plane, preferably one that we had a really good experience. It's super exciting. Let me give you an example of an exciting jet. Avanti 90. Very good, very fun. I poo-pooed it because it was golden red and I thought it was fugly from the pictures. Then we flew it and it was awesome. And we flew it in terrible conditions up against insane deadlines for FMS because they always do that to us. And it was perfect. It was perfect, okay? The only bad thing about that is it was our first time using AS3X Plus, so we were trying to figure out the steerable nose gear stuff, and it still worked perfect. It was an amazing experience. Thrust reverse, perfect. Perfect landings, gorgeous on the first shot. That's the way I like them, okay? Another good example, Futura. Had no idea how good it was gonna be. Amazing plane. Love it. Have never flown a Futura and not just been, I'm excited to have this. I'm excited for the ups. I'm excited for the landing performance. I'm excited for the slow flight performance.
The Futura 80. Not the 64.
Not the 64. Yeah, the 64 would have been a lot like this. Yeah, it's not so good. So at the end of the day, if you want EDFs and you can't afford a bigger EDF, this is what you're gonna do. Kids, listen, I have kids. Kids, save your money and get the good one, okay? Don't taint it with the wrong plane for the wrong reason. I'm not saying that this plane isn't awesome in certain ways. It is fun, but you gotta go up, you gotta get it. And I'm not saying that I'm comparing that to like a jet turbine or something like that, guys.
Right.
Let's be real. There is limits. Some people are never gonna achieve that. You may not have a place to fly them legally. You may not have a place to fly them safely. At the end of the day, this thing is fun. It's gonna be a throw in the back of the truck kind of thing, but you're gonna wanna use better packs, okay? Our packs are probably just not juicy enough for this particular aircraft, okay? Try high volt, it'll help, I think. You could try a lighter pack if you wanna just do the throwing around kind of thing. And I will stand corrected that I did not lose every antenna fixture on the bottom of this, except
Only one.
I was correct on that.
Yeah.
Also, the landing gear are beautiful. So if you want to store your planes on a table or something like that, it's cool that we get landing gear. This did not come with ordnance. The gray one does. If you fly that thing with ordnance, I'll be surprised if you can take off.
Yeah.
Because that is going to be so draggy. Holy cow.
And there's a lot of them.
And there's a lot of them. I mean, there's like 14 things on there. So at the end of the day, is this the end all cure all? No, for Brian Phillips RC, but maybe it is for you. Maybe you meet that ultra tight echelon of pilot that's like, out of all of us, these ones that really love this. We do this video for you, okay? So hopefully you will be able to sort through my opinions and put yourself into this plane and see if you'll like it, okay? That's why we do these videos. We hope we answered some questions. If we didn't, leave them in the comments below. We'll try our best to answer them. And at the end of the day, we really do love this hobby and we expect excellence from the companies that should be able to provide excellence and then dine them. So at the end of the day, check out the links in the video description below. If you want to buy this plane for yourself, if you think you can do it better, and I'm sure you probably can, then please do. Do me a favor, order it from the links, help support Brian Phillips RC with small commissions from them to us. You don't pay it, we get it. That helps us to fund our channel, which is really helpful. If you don't want to help us in that way, we totally understand it. There's other ways if you prefer. We have monthly support through Patreon. Thanks for being Patreons, guys. We have monthly support through YouTube. Thanks for being members, YouTube members. There's also one-time donations via YouTube Super Thanks and PayPal if you prefer to not be part of the lists. And then we also have a P.O. box if you want to send us something. Just let us know because we don't check that P.O. box hardly ever. So J-10, one more flight coming. Stay tuned. Thanks for watching. YouTube, it's Brian Phillips. Look at this. It's the J-10 from FMS, 64 millimeter EDF. We've got ours in the red, white, blue, and gray. And there's also one that's in gray, like military looking. And they're both beautiful, but we have our concerns. Namely, fixed gear on a jet. We'll see. What do you think, camera crew?
We'll see.
2200 4S 50C Smart Pack flying this today. It is equipped with a version 3 reflex, which is our stabilizer. So AR620 on board, limited stability, auto leveling, all that good stuff, but not quite AS3X Plus. Here we go. Whoops. She was gonna be in the air. All right, hopefully the mic picks up, but that broke our other main. So I think we've established that grass ops with the fixed gear are not gonna be a good thing on this plane. Here we go. Oh, she gets in the air pretty good.
There you go.
Looks great.
Yeah.
Woo! So it's kind of squishy on the controls. As you can see, this is 100% flyer. She's wanting to wander down. That's your ups, guys. Hard on the throttle, on the way downhill, you better, or you're gonna lose it. Lots of drag with those gear, folks. So what you guys couldn't probably see super close up is that we broke the brace, the stabilizer on the main, which we also did last night. Not sure if you guys are even gonna see that footage because we had a brand new camera we were trying to use. And it sucked for us. And we had a thunderstorm kind of creeping in on us, and it hit pretty much as we took off. So I broke the other main landing gear strut, just the strut, not the gear itself. But I can tell you this, I mean, these 64 millimeter EDF jets with fixed gear, man, the lights are awesome.
Yeah.
They don't like fixed gear. There's just not enough power to overwhelm it, okay? So now also with the reflex, I feel like I'm just on the edge of losing altitude. I have to constantly trade off altitude. And we're at 1 minute. Okay, so we're gonna go to auto leveling. This is Reflex V3. Auto leveling, it's gonna have a tie to the elevator, just so you know. So when you're in the throttle, it's gonna give you a little bit of up elevator. Okay, so I can't handle it anymore, it's too annoying. It does auto level the aircraft. And I gotta say, beautiful livery, beautiful model with all sorts of details that are gonna get ripped off on your maiden flight. And you're gonna fly this the way it's supposed to be flown, which is not with the gear if you want the best out of it. It looks fast, but that is full speed, folks. Throttle stick is pegged. I'm gonna see if I can bring this in and get a not terrible landing. Nope, not that direction. So guys, we're gonna come in here, slide it in. We'll go down the damn runway. Camera crew's gonna come to the edge on my right. I'm basically gonna fly this around in a big circuit here. Hopefully you won't lose sight of it for too long because it's the only angle I can get this, guys. Okay, camera crew, you good? Mm-hmm. Remember, we do have a rudder. Oh no, that ain't gonna go. Camera crew, 14 steps forward, please. That's the wrong way, to the left. There you go, right there. I need flexibility. Okay. So folks, flyby suggestion is the name of the game with this J-10. They didn't send it to us early, which is fine. I mean, companies got to make decisions about these things, but I'm beginning to understand why. Stay in the throttle, there you go. Pilot fatigue worked, but only after I waited all the way down. Now, just full disclosure, on our first flight, I pilot fatigued it. I knew it wasn't gonna work. The 40 amp Predator ESCs just don't like to go into pilot fatigue mode. Throttle cuts on. Pilot fatigue is where we do thrust reverse, and it forces 150% of throttle forward, meaning that it is going to go reverse thrust. There's just not enough juice either in this moment of our flight, or it doesn't switch in time. So on the bigger ESCs, we've had good success with those. On the smaller ESCs, not so much. Now, I'm just gonna tell you this, you may not have 3-inch clean at the end of your runway, so that's kind of on us. Obviously overshot our really long runway, okay? It's gonna be much longer here shortly, but camera crew's gonna hold this for a quick second. And I'm just looking to see if I can find the nose pointy thing. Oh. And I don't think I am. So as you can see, fixed gear broke here. Last night, we broke it here almost exactly the same spot. Useless, probably okay. And you could keep flying it, but grass offs are gonna be a no-go for this thing. It doesn't really have enough power to get out of the grass. However, keeping in mind, our grass is actually pretty well maintained right now. It is wet because we had a lot of rain yesterday. So my only thinking is, this plane is gonna be a hand launch belly lander for the vast majority of us that fly this plane. But I mean, look, we have a gear door that's creating drag all the time. And yes, I did damage the nose cone. That might've been from the overshoot. I don't know if I'm gonna blame that on the plane. But at the end of the day, we like to put blame where it matters, which is usually on me, the pilot, not necessarily the plane. Does it fly? Yes. Is it a good experience? No. I'm on my toes the whole time. I'm nervous it's falling out of the sky. It feels like wonky in every direction. However, and I'm gonna put this into context, I feel very similar about the Rafale. And the Rafale is a good plane. Mm-hmm. So that being said, we have canards. Ah, dang it, scrape the wingtip. Note to self, airplane designers, do not put paint on the wingtips. Put something else on the wingtips, like plastic. Kind of like this, guys. Let's start doing this. Let's make those tips strong, especially on a belly lander. We have ventral fins that are removable, but I guarantee you, most of us are gonna rip those off on the virgin landing. As will this, as will this, as will this, as will this, potentially this, and definitely that. I've already re-glued that. And then these as well, which remind me a lot of the F-18 64 that we just recently reviewed for FMS. Beautiful plane, performs really well with the gear off. Totally devoid of a rudder. Don't understand why. I'm gonna just tell you this. If you wanna make this thing do anything more than fly in a circle, you're gonna need higher power packs, because this is a good, fairly new 50C pack. You're gonna probably have to go to high volts, because I just don't think you can get it with a standard pack. There's not enough additional unnecessary power to make this do fun stuff. Now, as soon as you pull the gear off, I bet this thing is gonna be a totally different plane. And that's what we're gonna do next. We're gonna go in, we're gonna undo 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 screws to take off all those gear so that we can still have a peg sticking out for the steerable nose gear, and antenna. And we're gonna see if we can bring it in for a decent landing. Hand launch is gonna be a little bit awkward too, because you're gonna have to grab probably here or back on the thrust tube. There just isn't really a great place to hold on to the plane. And you might have noticed that because I was holding it kind of awkward for the beginning. Well, there's just not a great place to hang on. So we're gonna try that next. Camera crew and I are gonna go inside. We'll do that off camera, and we'll come back and fly one more flight with just the battery. Not sure what order you're gonna see it. So if you guys wanna support us, check out brianphillipsrc.com. You can find the competitive Delta style planes if you want one that's really gonna perform super well. FMS makes a good plane. I'm not trying to beat them up, but I want you guys to know my preconceived notions about Delta planes. We have had relatively poor experiences with them, especially the smaller 64s. Understand to check your expectations at the door when you get a Delta. The Rafale is an 80. It's very powerful. It runs on 6S. You can put huge packs in it. This thing runs on 2200 to 2600 4S. I just feel like it's a bad power size. It doesn't match what this plane deserves to make it do anything cool. That being said, if you're a really, really good pilot, you want to fly it super tail heavy and make it do more, get that AS3X Plus in here, put a 630 in here, put a 637. I mean, there's not a lot of servo channels you need on this plane. So that's one very positive thing. Get an Avian ESC in there, get reliable thrust reverse so you can slow it down on a short runway if you fly from one, or put it down on the grass and stop it. But you're not gonna be flying wheels up, wheels down with this plane. I just don't suspect it's gonna really work. That being said, beautiful landing gear, kind of wasted on this model, just like the F-18. Guys, full truth, nothing but the truth from Brian Phillips RC. That's why you come here. We're gonna show you what we liked about it, what we didn't like about it. I love the LEDs, by the way. It really helps with visibility. Not crazy about the red, white, and blue on a Chinese airplane, but at the same time, it's not really that big deal. The CJ6 has a similar trim livery because I think it's part of the same kind of international flying team, kind of like Thunderbirds for us. But I gotta tell you this, I loved the CJ6. It is awesome flying. Really good, well done plane, virtually no complaints, and we flew it in a blizzard. Okay, so not sure if you're gonna see our crappy footage, but maybe we'll dump it in there. Camera crew's kind of shaking her head. It's really bad, guys.
And that's because we are using a new camera.
We're using a brand new camera. We're trying to figure it out, and the audio is even worse than the video.
Pouring
and
by
it was
the
pouring.
end.
It was pouring at the beginning, and it's pouring all the way through. So we're gonna try a hand launch quick. Obviously, I already lost the tip. I already broke both main landing gears, and that's from basically 1 1/4 flights, because it was one circuit and get it to the ground ASAP because we had a thunderstorm blown in. Again, not the manufacturer's fault that we make bad timing decisions, but it is their fault when they make a plane that doesn't have enough power to actually execute on what our expectations might be, okay? So that being said, make up your own mind. I'm not saying it's a terrible plane. It's got a strong airframe. I think it's gonna be good as a hand launch belly lander, with the exception of all the crap that's gonna rip off on the first flight, and then you're gonna be left with a go. The truth is, Ugo for me is not okay with a sleek, beautiful jet. I want things that are designed to be used. So let's get those from now on from anybody who's listening or cares what our opinion is, manufacturers. My guess is you don't. But guess what? You should care about the opinion of those who buy these things. And those who buy these things want to use them. If you can land in super tall grass like this all year long, then that's pretty cool. I bet you can get away with saving some of those details. My guess is we'll probably still lose a few. All right, not sure the order you're gonna see it, so I'll leave the extra here. Check out the unbox build radio setup if you wanna see how we set this up. Actually not a terrible build, a little bit of gluing involved. Check it out. Unbox build radio setup is published right now for you to enjoy. And if you guys enjoyed the video, don't forget to smash the like button and click the bell for notifications when you do subscribe to the channel, because there's always new content coming right around the corner on Brian Phillips RC. Remember, bprc.me if you want to check out the other competitive offerings sorted by type or brand/affiliate company that we worked with on a particular release. That being said, there's a lot good about this plane. It's just, I expect near perfection on this type of model. When they're this beautiful, I want the flight performance to be exactly the same. Again, pilots have skills. The skills don't necessarily match up. The plane's performance in the air doesn't always look as good as you want it to. That's on me. Having a bunch of stuff that's gonna rip off, having an underpowered power system, that's on them, okay? Hope you guys agree. Leave it in the comments below if you don't. And obviously, as usual, we're ready for the next one, and we appreciate you guys being here with us. Thanks for watching. Come back for more.